Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Young Minds Podcast. Before we get started, I just want to say a massive thank you for tuning in and listening to these past episodes that you're about to hear snippets from. And I cannot believe we are on 50 episodes without stopping. That is absolutely insane. And you're going to get to hear all the cringe, all the laughs. And what I've done is I've taken the majority of the episodes, or the very beginning intros, because, one, it's really hard to fish out individual moments in some of the episodes, and two, it gives you an opportunity to go back and say, oh, this is who we interviewed, so you get to hear everybody's voice, but now you get to go back and listen to everybody else that's been on the podcast before, leading up to the 50th episode. And I'm so glad that this is finally getting to come out, because it took a while to put all of it together, but for anybody who's been on that's listening, I thank you so much for your time and allowing me to interview you. And we sat down and we just had a great conversation. And for people that want to get interviewed, just reach out to me. If you're in my area, reach out. Especially if you're at Northside, reach out. You know where I am. I'm always here on Sundays, Wednesdays, and sometimes Thursdays. So if you want to get interviewed, you just let me know. But without further ado, here is the 50th episode special, The Voices of the Young Minds Podcast. My name is Charlie Banks, and I'm a 17-year-old kid who started the Young Minds Podcast to spread the word of God. It is my goal to do this podcast. You learn, you laugh, you cry, whatever it may be. I just hope that you enjoy it and maybe grow in your relationship with Christ. But just remember, this thing that the Lord is starting is way bigger than any of us. So let's get after it. What is up, everybody? This is the first episode of the Young Minds. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Young Minds Podcast for episode 2.
Yes, sir.
All right. Welcome to the podcast, man. Just say your name and kind of say, what's your story, maybe a little bit, and we'll go on from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. I'm very excited to be on with you today. My name is Donovan Jones.
Welcome back to the Young Minds Podcast, and today we are on episode 4. Welcome to the podcast, man. So introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Appreciate you having me on, first of all. So I'm Cody Truitt. I'm from Ohio.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Young Minds Podcast. This is episode 6 of the podcast, and I can't believe we're actually on 6 episodes already. But today we're going to jump into, as you probably heard maybe by the intro, that it's going to be a Christmas. When you look around, just LHS and everywhere else that you go, what are some things that you think that could help, the youth and things like that, to come to Christ or whatever it may be, just to help them, right?
I definitely think they could talk about it more.
Yeah.
I know in today's society, a lot of people are judgy and very judgmental, and I think that coming in to FCA and LHS, it should be a very judgmental place. You should come in and be unjudged, just do whatever you need to, come in how you are. I feel like if we stop stop judging people as much, it'd be a whole lot easier to get people to come to the Word.
Oh, definitely. To get towards that, that you can think of, even if they're simple.
All right, simple things like schoolwork, for instance.
Yeah.
Don't be lazy in your schoolwork. Turn in your homework on time.
Yeah.
I know that's a hard thing for some people.
Yeah.
But get it done and study for your test hard.
Yeah. Don't
just wait till the last day. Don't procrastinate.
Welcome back to the Young Minds Podcast on episode 10. It's hard to believe that we're on 10 episodes of this podcast. All right, welcome to the podcast, man. How's it going?
Oh, it's going good, sir.
I'm doing great, Good to hear your voice.
Good. Yeah, it's good to be back. It's been a little while.
Podcast, man, so just introduce yourself, tell us your name, and a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Charlie. I'm excited to be on with you. I appreciate the opportunity. It's always exciting to, come on and talk about things that you're passionate about. And
I'm definitely passionate about what you're doing and just, manhood in general. I'll start. My name is Justin. I'm from the Midwest.
Welcome to the podcast, man. How's it going?
Everything is going good. Thank you for having me, man. What's going on
Of
with you?
course. I'm doing all right. Just trying to get adjusted with like I said earlier, with like school and everything. Welcome back to the Young Minds Podcast. We are on episode 14. All right, welcome to the podcast. And how's it going, Pastor? How's it going?
Great. Glad to be here with you, Charlie. Thanks for having me on today.
All right, welcome to the podcast, Pastor. How is it going? Just introduce yourself, and then we'll jump right into questions.
I'm doing great. My name is Josh Foster, and I am the Evangelism Discipleship Pastor here on staff at Northside Baptist Church.
Because that's coming, believe it or not, that's coming up on a year in April.
No.
Yes.
So Charlie, here's how that worked. So I'm on staff here. I've only been on staff at that time 4 months. Mm-hmm. And I had not been a senior pastor of a church like Pastor Robbie for several years. Mm-hmm. And as a result, when you're not the senior pastor, you're just the guest preacher. You don't baptize people. Well, they said, Randy, why don't you baptize this Sunday? We've got a young man named Charlie Banks. And I said, Charlie who? And so they said, Charlie Banks. And they told me about your great story and everything. And then I met you. Little did I know that you and I would start a friendship. And now I consider it such a great honor that I have the joy of baptizing Charlie Banks. There'll be a day. There's coming a day. God's going to continue using you, and I'll be able to tell people, I'll say, Charlie Banks, you know him? Oh, yeah. I said, well, I baptized him. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Welcome to the podcast, Pastor. How is it going today?
It's going great, thanks. I'm excited to be here and do this. This is all.
Welcome back to the Young Minds Podcast, and today we're going to be talking about something that's been going on for, I think it's maybe close to, maybe 9-10 days now. I'm not really sure. But this is actually episode 19 we are on. And I know I say this. All right, welcome to the podcast. I guess you could say, ma'am. At this point, I have not said that yet. And that's because we have the first female guest on today. But if you want to just introduce yourself and tell everybody what you're about, that'd be great.
Okay, my name is Laura Foster. I am the pastor's wife at Northside.
Welcome to the podcast, man. How's it going? And I want you to introduce yourself. How's it going?
Good, very good. So my name is Noah Blunt. Mm-hmm. I'm on staff here at Northside.
Welcome back to the Young Minds Podcast. We're on episode 22 of this crazy ride.
Keep him first every single day and just watch what he will do. Ephesians 3:20.
It's been a blessing to have you on, and I can't wait for this to come out.
Thank you
for
coming
having
on.
Me. Of course. Podcast, man, how's it going? And I just want you to introduce yourself, and then we'll rock right on.
I'm doing pretty good. My name's Neil Baker. 17.
All right, welcome to the podcast, man. How's it going? Introduce yourself.
Doing good. My name is Daniel Holcomb. I am the intern / worship intern / guitar player extraordinaire / resident fun guy at Northside Baptist Church.
All right, welcome back to the Young Minds Podcast, and this is a really special episode that I have for you today. I usually don't explain them too much, but this one I kind of have to. This one is going to be an anniversary episode for my salvation, and who I have with me, introduce yourself, please.
Hey,
sir.
My name is Baines Blanton. I'm a junior at Lowndes High School and active member of Northside Baptist Church.
Mm-hmm. All right, welcome back to the Young Minds Podcast. Today we have a very special guest for you today. The last episode I kind of talked about him a little bit, but this is my anniversary episode for my baptism. And if you could introduce yourself, please, and we'll rock straight into it.
Hey, I'm Stephen Peterson. I'm a student at Lowndes High School, and I'm honored to be here on this podcast.
Yeah. All right, welcome to the podcast, man. How's it going? And just introduce yourself, and we'll get right going.
Yeah, my name's Landon McCaleb, and I'm a student pastor here at Northside Baptist Church.
All right, welcome to the podcast, man. How's it going? Introduce yourself, and then we'll get rocking and rolling.
Okay, I'm glad to be here, Charlie.
Yeah.
My name is Ethan Gibbons. I'm 15 years old, and I've been helping on the sound team since after COVID.
Yeah. All right, welcome back to the Young Minds Podcast. Today, I have a very special guest for you today. It's not every day that somebody will bring this particular person on. And I don't mean that for them specifically, but we all have one of these. I hope you do. And it's my mom. So if you could introduce yourself, please, and we'll just rock right on.
Okay, well, my name is Janet Crider Banks, and I'm Charlie's mom, as he just said.
Welcome to the podcast, you two. I'm so glad to have you on. If you could just introduce yourselves and then tell your testimonies, and we'll jump right in.
My name is Brandon Devine, and my wife is Natasha Devine.
All right, welcome to the podcast, and I'm so happy to have this person on today. Why don't you introduce yourself, and we'll just jump right into it.
Hey guys, my name is Daltrey O'Quinn. I'm actually Charlie's cousin, and I'm really glad to be here.
Welcome to the podcast, man. I'm so happy to have you on. If you could just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you, about what you do, and then we'll just keep going.
Charlie, thanks for having me. I'm Eddie Bawani. I am the children's pastor here at Northside. Been having the privilege of being part of the staff here.
You're good. All right, man. All right, so welcome back to the Young Man's Podcast, and this is totally not like the third time we tried to record this already. But I am so excited to have these two on today. It has been an honor to talk with them and just really just be a part of this journey with them. And you've heard them before, but this time we're going to do it on video. And Cody, if you could just introduce yourself, and we'll just rock right on, and we'll just keep going.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Cody Truitt. I have the Of Sound Mind Instagram page, as well as the Of Sound Mind podcast. Check them out if you would. I appreciate you, Charlie, for having me on.
Of course. All right, man.
Yeah, and my name's Donovan Jones. Like Cody said, thanks for having us on. I'm excited about this. This is the first time that I've done a podcast with two people on here, so this should be interesting. But
All right, welcome to the podcast, man. I'm so glad to have you on today. If you could just introduce yourself and then tell your testimony, and we'll just go right on.
All right. My name is Will McKee. I serve as the college and young adult pastor here at Northside Baptist Church.
Welcome to the podcast. It's an honor to have you on, and I can't wait to get into what you have. So if you could introduce yourself, and then we'll just keep going.
Okay. My name is Tina Evans, and my husband and I started at Northside about, I guess it's been a little over 2 years ago.
All right, welcome to the podcast, man. It is so great to have you on, and I just can't wait to hear what you have to say. So just introduce yourself, and then we'll just go right on.
Well, thank you for having me, Charlie. My name is Noah Jenkins.
All right, welcome to the podcast, man. I'm so glad to have you on today. If you could just introduce yourself and tell your testimony, then we'll just go right on.
Okay, sure. My name is Jim Stoudemeyer, and my testimony's definitely got some humor.
All right, welcome to the podcast. I'm so glad to have you on today. I'm really excited about this one. But if you could just introduce yourself, and then we'll just keep on going.
I am Miles Hannon, and I'm a member at Northside. I teach a life group. I'm married to Lisa Hannon. I have a daughter. Her name is Danielle. She has one grandchild and one more on the way.
Welcome to the podcast. I'm so glad to have you two on today. If you could just introduce yourself, and then we'll just keep on going.
Sure. I'm Jason Hubbard.
And I'm Rachel Hubbard.
All right, ma'am. Welcome to the podcast. I'm so glad to have you on today. If you could just introduce yourself, and then we'll just rock right on.
Yeah. Hey, guys. I'm Josh Thomas.
Welcome back to the podcast, man. I'm so glad to have you on today. It is an absolute honor to have you on. And if you could introduce yourself, we'll just keep on going.
Yeah, well, good. Yes, my name is Noah Blunt. I'm the student pastor here at Northside. I'm excited to be back on the podcast again with my friend Charlie.
Yep. All right, welcome to the podcast, man. I'm so glad to have you on today. If you could just introduce yourself, and we'll just keep on going.
All right, I'm David Williams, the BCM campus minister.
Yep. Welcome to the podcast. I'm so glad to have you on today. If you could just introduce yourself, and we'll just keep on going.
All right. My name is Kyle Salter. I am a believer, member here at Northside Church. Been here since 2014. I work with the Valdosta, Georgia Police Department. Been there a little over 23 years. Currently the lieutenant there, and I'm over the detective division. I have a beautiful wife, Jill. I have a son, Drew, a daughter, Emily, a younger daughter, Ellison, and a younger son, Zachary, and blessed recently in the last 2 years with a grandson named Mallard.
Hey everybody, before we get started with the episode, I just want to preface that this isn't a normal Young Minds podcast episode in really any aspect, except for the fact that it is a testimony. It's a testimony of not just one person or one event or anything like that. It's a testimony of multiple people, of survivors that survived a tragedy known as 9/11, which Welcome back to the Young Minds Podcast. Today, I'm doing a solo one again today. But today we're talking about my experience with Hurricane Idalia. Alright, welcome to the podcast, man. I'm so glad to have you on today. If you could introduce yourself and we'll just keep on going.
My name is Charlie Martin. I am 14 years old, and I'm a freshman at Valdosta High School, and I've been going to the church for about 7 years now.
And with that, another episode of the Young Minds Podcast comes to a close. Always remember, you are never alone, and faith is action. So let's get out there.